Hello Reddit user Hollywood. I might just want to say that I actually like your name because it reminds me back of my Halo days. Back when I was playing Halo 1 actually. I was 12 years old back then, and I remember if you didn't put anything in for the name, it would actually come up with a name for you, and Hollywood was actually one of the names that it would generate. And by putting in the name, I mean putting in the name on your Spartan or character or whatever, but that just brings back so many memories. So, anywho, back to the game that we're in right now, ladies and gentlemen. In the upper right-hand corner, spawning as our red Protoss, he is LeafboyYAO. In the upper left-hand corner, spawning as our blue Terran, he is Icki. Map we're on right now is, of course, Habitation Station LE, and I've updated interfaces to the one that basically I believe Caldor uses, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess now, since we've got a bit of fill-in time, I'll go into blog mode. I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see Icki go ahead and lift off this command center and land it at the gold, but that's a very big and risky move, and typically it leads to one base all-ins. So, if this is your first time tuning into my channel, this is where I go ahead and give you guys the shameless plug-in. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I live in Taiwan. My name is BreakerSC2, and I follow everything for Taiwan and China for StarCraft 2. Gonna be getting in on a few offline events very soon. They're going to need a stage translator as well as an English-speaking host, and I thought to myself, this could just be my moment. So let's see where things go. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't make a full-time living off of esports. I do have to teach English as a second language, just like any other foreigner in Taiwan. But already a probe coming out from LeafboyYAO. This is looking pretty normal so far. Turning down the assimilator number 1, assimilator number 2 soon to follow up. That could be just about anything. I think maybe it would be most likely that he's going to go with the force field sentry expand. Natural command center first for Icki, so he's playing kind of greedy. I'm a bit surprised that, you know, maybe I thought maybe it would make a little bit of sense to send that to the gold base, but then again, maybe just maybe the mothership core could actually be out in time to uncontestedly kill the one SCV that is building it and thus delay it. So, you know, I mean, going for that early gold can actually be a big gamble, and I don't know about this move from Icki. I mean, he's jeez, he's almost lost an SCV now. He's losing mining time on 3 workers as opposed to just 1. And the follow-up is looking rather normal, coming with double barracks. And I guess with that we conclude our fill-in time, but LeafBoy, I think he's making a huge mistake here. I mean, like, you're making a big investment when you throw down double assimilators and then you don't put the probes on gas. But I think his reaction to that came due to the fact that he saw his opponent going for a command center first opener. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get some more minerals in my income before I start getting gas, and I should be perfectly fine for the most part. Barracks number 2 just about to finish up, and we're going to have... Alright, I like this. Wow, he's staying persistent with that probe. Still no units lost yet. And with the SCV coming in here from Icki, he's going to see that his opponent's natural nexus is on the way. Cybernetics core is just about to finish up as that SCV hits the main. He can see that. He can't see that. So he should know that maybe the mothership core is on the way right now, along with perhaps a stalker. And Zealot, if that finishes, I don't know. I mean, he's going to be pretty close to supply blocked if he lets that Zealot finish, but he does. Okay. And now we're waiting for this game to really take shape. Marines, the count is actually getting a little bit higher. I don't understand why he doesn't send them to the natural, perhaps possibly due to the I want to say nearly non-existent threat of an Oracle right now. Opponent is starting on Warp Gate tech, and the follow-up is actually a robo coming from LeafboyYAO. I think, I think maybe this guy could be Taiwanese or even from mainland China, but I'm not saying that by his playstyle by any means. I draw this conclusion from the fact that there's a lot of people who put the name Leaf in their name, and I think it's one of those things that has a lot of significance in Taiwanese culture, if that makes sense. Alright, and now, here we go. We're going to have LeafboyYAO actually arriving at Icki's natural here. Probably not going to get in and do too terribly much damage. The Mothership Core, Stalker, Zealot, Opener has been thwarted by this Mass Marine Opener, I guess you could say. I wouldn't say Mass Marine, but of course, it's very direct double barracks Opener. Stim is now on the way. And I just want to add that, I mean, I've never seen anyone transition with anything else except for perhaps HTO Mario doing a one-base all-in without Stim and every color of the rainbow in the way of units. I think Icki's just getting this missile turret just in case he should happen to need it. He's got no vision right now. He doesn't know what deviation his opponent has made in the way of a tech up. And by deviation, I mean what you would throw down after the cybernetics core. We did, of course, see the robo, but Icki did not see that. And there's a robotics bay on the way, which means it's going to be Colossus as well. The appropriate reaction from Icki would mean to start producing Vikings, but they're not going to be out for a while, and that's actually going to... I feel like maybe Icki is... The one thing that I fear for with our Terran right now is the fact that he's going to have an excruciatingly low medevac count. There's no getting around that. Twilight Council going down in the background, that's perfectly normal, because Blink Stalkers are very effective for dealing with Vikings. LeafboyYAO is actually... I think what he's doing is he's just rushing for his ideal unit composition. He didn't get a single immortal. He saw that his opponent was going with a double barracks opener, and then, well, he's just got some other vision of what the follow-up is. And he's like, okay, I know that he's basically going to get what I'm looking for, Vikings into the composition, so I'm going to try and do what I can to counter those Vikings before they hit the battlefield. Maybe getting a little bit too far ahead of himself for a Protoss player, but we'll see how that works out for him. Blink is again on the way. I imagine the follow-up afterwards would either be charge, if not maybe throwing down a Templar Archives, getting some Colossus into the, or not Colossus, but rather AoE into the mix, a lot more AoE at that. And now Icki is moving out across the map with quite the heavy Marine and Marauder count, and looks like this is going to be a concussive shells, possibly a +1 attack timing. If not, it's going to, I don't know, this could do a lot of damage. This really could. Let's just wait and see where things go here. There are a couple of sentries on the high ground, and they're going to have enough energy on them for 4 force fields, but none of them will be expended. And this Marine named Bob, who we all knew well, actually went down to see if there was a third or not. And now Icki knows that there is no third. He picked off an observer. Nice little pick off at that, I might add. And third base has just been started for LeafboyYAO. Medevac count is climbing, but this is something that kind of shocks me, to be perfectly honest with you guys, because our Terran here ideally would start making, that's what I'm looking for. Ideally would start making some Vikings to deal with the Colossus, but kind of like this double medevac drop harass move, because his opponent actually has no observer in that position, but how does he know? Okay, maybe just a lucky warp in. But there we go. Medevacs hitting their afterburners, not quite able to get into the main. Nice little network of pylons from LeafboyYAO. That one got picked off. It was not canceled, it was actually picked off, and I like the little animation bug there. But with 2 Colossus out on the battlefield for LeafboyYAO, this is going to be a little bit difficult for Icki to deal with. Offensive blink forward from the Stalkers, and that will basically clean up most of this bio here, but some of it did still escape. Double medevacs are going to try and hit something, but this pylon's going to catch on to it. Alright, so now I can see why he did that, but there's a huge drop in the main as I talk about it. And look, guess what? This drop's going to hit the natural just as this one's hitting the main, and that's a lot of damage done so far. 5 workers killed, plus whatever units fell there. That was not an effective exchange for our red Protoss, who's now making a third. His oversaturated mineral line is actually being decimated just a little bit. And now, Icki got just enough damage to do what I think he needed to do. But he's got to get his third landed. It just started mining at the gold. That medevac number 1 does get hurt. This medevac, the amount of damage it will do is quite minimal from here on out, I feel. But at the same time, it's going to be one of those. Medevacs that forces his opponent to warp in at home, as opposed to warping in at the front lines or warping in for harass, like right here. Okay, so checking the situation right now, Protoss is about to get +3 ground armor. He's getting charged behind this, and that's what's going to make dealing with drops a little bit easier. But the one thing that will definitely help above all else is the Templar Archives, getting the feedbacks on the medevacs, especially if they have too much energy on them. And Widow Mines now working their way into the mix. I don't know about this feeling. Yes, they were buffed in a previous patch, and Blizzard is presently considering buffing them, but hold that thought. This huge engagement, one Widow Mine is not going to burrow in time, and it does not. Indeed, it just gets picked off. It's a free given. But what on earth is Icki doing here? Oh, I don't know about this. I really don't. I mean, he's going to drop in the main with this little drop. Doesn't quite micro it the way he needs to. His units get caught out in the time warp. That's a huge, huge grab for our Protoss. But at the same time, multi-pronged drop harass is working so well for our Terran right now. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's going in for the kill. It looks like on that third Nexus, if he can get it, he'll force LeafboyYAO to all in, and then we'll see where things go from there at that position in that moment. 3 Colossus in the mix, and I think there's a part of Icki that just says, whatever, I don't need Vikings. I just need lots of bio on the ground and Widow Mines to cover their escape. Indeed, that will be the case. Oh, that's actually, I don't know about the connections on those, but I think they did the damage that they needed to do. Now, the big question is, can he hold against the retaliation that's coming out him very soon? I think if he gets an amazing spread here and approaches this army from all angles, he'll be amazing. He'll be great. He'll be good to go. Looks like he's just going to try and charge onto that. Force fields thrown out by the sentries, what little they can afford to. Back at home, LeafboyYAO is now rebuilding his third and trying to save it at the same time. +3 armor is about to finish up, and he's going to have Psionic Storm. The one thing that's really hurting this army from LeafboyYAO is the fact that he hasn't gotten any attack upgrades, and that's something that's very difficult to do as Protoss. But I think that with the +3 armor, he'll definitely be very strong in his next attack, assuming it hits, but before +2/+2 finishes. I'm not too familiar with the specifics of, say, you know, what kind of damage scaling there is for Terran units versus Protoss units with said upgrades. Like, for example, 8 roaches with +1 attack have the same DPS output as 9 roaches with 0 attack, if that makes sense. I don't play either of these races, so I honestly don't know, but this little harassed squad doesn't quite work out. Triple medevac drop into the main. Looks like this will help. This will help out Icki a lot. Storm goes down on top of a good chunk of this army, and a nice little pick off on this one Colossus could definitely help. But oh my god, he's just lost so much of his army. How does he come back from this? He did indeed get one Colossus pick off, but I really feel as though he needs more. The storms are just too much, and I think LeafboyYAO holds from here. Will he get that Widow Mine? Indeed he will. Everything here was just annihilated from Icki. The drops are everywhere though, and this is crazy. He's got 47 worker kills to this stage of the game. Right now the harvester count is greatly in favor of our Terran, but I mean, even without the worker count lead, he still has mules. More and more barracks getting tacked on, and I like the way that, you know, I mean, Icki, I can see his strategy just a little bit. If we see the resources lost here, it tells the whole story. He's throwing a bunch of units at his opponent, trying to tug his head and say, hey man, come to this location and attack this little group of units. Come to that location and attack that little group of units, and we'll see what else we can do to make this Terran favorite exchange work out. He's even got a 4th base behind it. Him killing his opponent's 3rd might have helped. He's going for a drop as well behind this, and that's just making, how do I say this? Every time he drops his opponent, he forces his opponent's main army to pull back. And even this Doom drop in the main is no exception. He's going to have to pull his entire army to this location to deal with it. And it looks like he's going to get quite a number of probe kills on this mineral line if he doesn't simply exchange effectively versus this Protoss. Oh my god. Amazingly, none of those medevacs fell. None of them. And this guy is down to, this gal, excuse me, is down to 1 hit point. Protoss just now getting started on +2 attacks. He's had +1 for a while. If he can get his way into +3, he'll be good to go. The question is, which route do you choose to take and why? And I think, I want to say conservatively speaking, that, hold on, +2 and +3 are going to be neck and neck here for both sides. Spotting the 4th base, no planetary fortress it will be this time. Not at all. Misclick there by me, apologies. And this was simply a pylon, nothing more. No nexus in construction, nothing like that. Gold base here might help out, and he did that to tug his opponent's head into attacking the location here, but it doesn't work out. He's going to get another Colossus pickoff. This is really hurting our Protoss LeafboyYAO. Icki is at 183 supply now to his opponent's 133. Now the army supply is telling the story. Icki, I think, can afford to throw away his army, especially once +3/+3 hits. I mean, there's no getting around that. He's got 30 seconds until that's done. He's got 2 medevacs. They're just about full of units, mostly Marauders, a couple of Widow Mines in one of them. And things are shaping up in his favor. By the way, behind that, the Templar Archives was sniped at some point or another. God, wow. So much damage being done. There's no other way to say it. This hurts. It really does. Mostly Marauders in the army, along with a few Ghosts. I'm wondering if he has a nuke. He does not, but he's got lots of snipes and lots of EMPs. Presently, there's no High Templar out on the map. So, I mean, maybe one of the units that you should focus on sniping is perhaps the Sentries. Just a thought, as you can see here. 50 versus Psionic, so it does a lot of damage to Sentries. Now another drop coming in, and I think this could be the death drop. This drop failed, it just dropped on top of an army. And Storm's hitting nothing here from LeafboyYAO. Nice EMPs on top of those Colossus. And it looks like the 3rd base will fall, the 4th base never had a chance to finish. Colossus falling one at a time, EMPs going down on everything. The High Templars desperately trying to storm it. It's beautiful from our Protoss LeafboyYAO, but at the same time, it's not enough. GG, well played, is called. So guys, oopsie. My name is Breaker SC2. I belong to the team Yowie Flashwolves, also the same team that Sun belongs to. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, just please follow me on Twitter, give me some feedback on the cast and cast it, things like that. I'll talk to you guys later.